Can you believe it's Wednesday again? So how did it go last week? Did you do the burnout quiz? Or maybe your symptoms were so obvious that you didn't even need to do the burnout quiz. This week we're starting to unpack burnout a little bit more, and we're going to look at the reason why burnout has become such a big issue. Have you noticed that we don't really ask people how they are anymore? We ask how busy they are, or the question is implied in their answer. Go ahead and do a little experiment. Ask 10 random people, how are you? And they'll immediately start telling you how tired they are, how busy they are, how long the year has been. Nobody really talks about their emotional state of being or their love life or anything like that anymore. You see, burnout has become a badge of honor, and social media certainly hasn't helped. We keep reading stuff like rise and grind or how you need to be part of the 5 a.m. club. Now I want to be clear, this video is not about knocking hard work or dedication. It's about defining what healthy ambition could be. You see, working hard, being dedicated, putting in your all, that's all great. And I am personally part of the 5 a.m. club. So it's about defining the things that are really important to you and spending your most precious time on that. And not just in a 9-to-5 dead-end job where you're working yourself to the bone without any personal growth or reward to yourself. But back to burnout and our culture of hustle. When we look at the world around us, it's very easy to see that we live in this world where stillness is confused with laziness and tiredness is confused with dedication and commitment. We brag about how much we're achieving and how much we're producing, how little sleep we're getting, but nobody holds a parade for balance or mental well-being. And the irony of all of this productivity and fast-paced living is that we are paying with real clarity, creativity, and even our own health. So what can we do to get out of this? Well, if burnout is the badge, then boundaries is the rebellion. If we have any chance of breaking the cycle of burnout, we simply have to start learning how to set healthy, respectful boundaries. This means that we have to say no to unnecessary meetings. We need to start creating some tech-free time where we turn off our cell phones, our televisions, our social media, and we simply sit and be quiet, have conversations with people. We also need to create a culture in ourselves where we can rest without any resentment or guilt. In short, we need to learn to say no. I understand that we struggle to set boundaries because we're afraid we're going to lose potential. But trust me, you won't lose potential. You are protecting your potential. And this is where we get to my story. You see, about 2 years ago, I started getting very sick. Went to see different specialists, and now 2 years later, the doctors still cannot figure out what's wrong with me. What this has done for me though, is it's put me on a journey where I've started looking at alternative healings, holistic approach to health and wellness. And so, even though I'm not a doctor, I believe I can guide you and help you and give you some useful tips through what I've learned through my own personal journey so far. And setting boundaries has been one of the key factors in my road to recovery so far. A word of caution though, everybody will not love you for setting healthy boundaries, especially if you've been living without them for a while. So I was doing some part-time work for an organization that required me to work on Sundays. And with my illness in full flame, I went to see the senior leadership of the organization, explained the situation to them and said to them that I would make sure that all of the work would still be done, but I wouldn't be present on Sundays anymore. And initially they agreed with this, but a short time later I was called into a coffee meeting and just told that my services were no longer required. The thing is though that I haven't been sorry for the decision I've made a single moment. Firstly, I realized that if the organization I worked for were not able to honor and respect the decision I made to reclaim my Sundays for my own wellness, then I didn't really want to be part of that organization anyway. Secondly, the little bit of income that I lost is weighed up against that extra time I've been able to spend on myself, on getting healthy, on spending time with my wife. And to be honest with you, it's no contest. So I can promise you, the price you're going to pay for setting healthy boundaries is absolutely worth paying for your own wellness and your own well-being. Just make sure that you do it with intention. In closing, I want to say that in this fast-paced world, we do not need more hustle. We need more humanity. And we don't need to be more productive. We need to be more present. Burnout is not only a personal problem. It is a leadership problem. It comes from the top down. The pressure comes from the top down. So my challenge to all of you who are in leadership positions is this: give your people some space to recover from their tiredness and burnout. You'd be amazed about how much more productivity you get from people if they are rested and happy. Maybe consider giving some of your staff a half day off, just because. This will do two things. One, the unexpected extra break time will help them to recover from their tiredness, maybe before it even becomes burnout. And you will communicate to them your gratitude for the hard work they're putting in. It will increase their creativity. They will take less smoke breaks, less sick days, less coffee breaks. And in the end of the day, the small price you pay by giving them some extra time off or putting less pressure on them will get much more out of them. So do this little experiment. I double dare you. I hope to see you again next week, where we will look at how burnout hijacks the brain.